Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Only Football. Max Beimler and Michael Holder.
Why do you look so stressed? You sound so stressed.
It's much of the same. Much of the same.
Yeah, we're both our teams are stressing.
Maligned United fan. Yeah, you got some momentum though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a good week for.
I was going to say,
Juve. New signings. Both had debut goals,
Mm-hmm.
And the new signing helped to win the Coppa Italia quarters today, setting up the semifinals against Fiorentina. That will be fun.
Honestly, Fiorentina generally play you well no matter how much they're struggling. But yeah, Vlahovic again, like right back. I wonder who's going to host. Do we know who's hosting that, or is it 2 legs for the semis for the Coppa?
2 legs.
It's 2 legs. There you go. I think he's going to get booed.
Oh, of course, yeah. You see the banners they already had, and
no, I have not.
Great, the owner.
The owner's been even before he left, like a month before he left too. Like was already kind of leaning into him.
I figured because I think they could have got more if he went to Arsenal, but they got it. They got their extra. I think they were mad about the 10% his agent demanded. So it was supposed to be 67 million, but they upped it to 75. To cut the difference of
the agent
manager, fee. Agent fee. But they felt backstabbed that he was always going to go to Juve. They're sneaky like that. I'm like, okay, well,
stop selling to you.
Exactly. It's like this is not like the first sale you've done to us.
No, it's been your three best players. Fiorentina's 3 best players in a row.
Yeah. So they only have themselves to blame, but
absolutely,
it was a good transfer window for us.
Mm-hmm.
It will still be tough to get the top 4, and even tougher for United if they keep this up. You guys need to snap out of it. But you guys are not playing bad.
No, we're not. So I don't want to. I'm enjoying Rangnick. I'll say that. I'm not enjoying the players though. Some more than others.
I think you guys just need like an attitude check.
Massively.
I think maybe captain switch might be it, but I think
people have been calling that for over a year.
Yeah,
over a year.
I understand with Rangnick not staying around probably next year. There's no point of stripping the captaincy.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is, man. You're going to lose some serious players if you don't make top 4. Believe that, and the likes of Maguire will be sticking around for sure.
Better
for himself.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, let's get into that. Let's review Burnley United, what's going on with United, and it just doesn't seem like Rangnick's really got much of a voice. There's no way he wants to captain Maguire, let alone pick him. It's got to be coming from up top.
With Lindelof and Varane.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're behind Lindelof again.
Besides Varane, he's been playing quite well. Honestly, that was the thing too. Is last year when myself and a bunch of United fans were complaining about Maguire and Lindelof, it's like they were just a bad pairing. Like I wanted to see Bailly and Maguire. Maguire was in decent form for a chunk of like the end of last season, leading into the Euros. But it's just that lack of pace, and also like they're just kind of frail when they're playing with each other. They don't exude confidence from one another. And, Varane's just top class. And you've seen it. Like, he has been. Since he's come back from injury, he's been very good. And he's doing what United fans expected from him.
Yeah. I almost got his debut goal twice, actually. But you guys had a great first half. It could have been 3, VAR.
No, well, they were not goals.
Yeah, I know.
they were the right calls.
The first one is...
He's offside.
I know. It's just
he's well offside.
It was, but did he make a play for the ball, Rodriguez? I think it was a half-hearted one, but I guess any play for the ball is considered, interference. It's coming if an offside player is blocking.
You're standing right there. Like, what are you doing? Come on. Did you hear what? And again, like back to the captaincy, especially. Did you hear what Maguire said
after the game?
Yeah.
Oh, that you guys need to finish your chances.
Yeah. He's done this before too. It's not the first time either. And
deflecting blame.
He loves it. He has no accountability. And you know what? If that's your mentality, more reason just focus on yourself and just take some pressure off him. See what he does without some pressure. What? 80 million.
He's not actually 80 million, but just the English tax.
No, I understand that, but the thing is that it's got to be coming from above. There's no way Rangnick wants to stick with him as captain, let alone even have him on the field. And it's just it's got to be coming from above to keep him in. Is it a bad look to strip that?
Who did they take the captaincy away to give it to him?
De Gea. De Gea. There was I think there was a gray period. So De Gea, when we got Maguire in 2019. Yeah. 2019. De Gea was captain. And here you go. And this is another perfect example. De Gea was captain, and we had a really poor performance against, I forget who, in mid-late October. And post-match, he said nothing outlandish whatsoever. He just said that it was an unacceptable performance. And, we need to do better. I don't know if he used the words, we're not good enough, which he wouldn't be wrong in doing. But, we need to do better. Captaincy stripped.
And that's when they get to Maguire? Right?
No. Then it was Young.
Oh,
and then they sold Young to Inter in January. And then Maguire after 6 months. And not setting the world light, but, being solid at least. No one was oh, here Maguire. He hasn't, quite hit.
Well, they had no one else except for Pogba, I guess.
You can't give Pogba. You couldn't give Pogba. He's too injured. And
maybe Rashford, but Rashford was still.
No, Rashford should never get a captaincy ever. He doesn't have the mentality either. He doesn't.
You guys should give.
He's very selfish. He's very selfish. He wants to kind of be protected himself socially. In terms of his media account and all this kind of stuff, and they
take criticism well.
They don't, and the English players do not. Yeah, they don't. I'm sorry, I'm a total broken record, but this happens week in, week out, and it's okay. Honestly, what I want to see from Rank is that Rank just needs to. He just again. There's no question in my mind that it has to be coming from above certain decisions. He just needs to be okay, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to do this completely my way. And if they don't like it, then I'll leave. I implore him to leave.
Leave right now or at the end of the season?
End of the season at the end of the season. Let's say end of the season. Suss it out.
He doesn't pick
and just do it. Do what you want to do. See what kind of flack you're getting. I would say end of the summer. Or a month into
just screw them over.
Month into the no, because you're not screwing them over, because I say you'd be screwing them over
if you left
United fans if you left right after the season, because he's supposed to be coming into this consulting role, right? Yes. Which he's already not being listened to. This is he said in December that we need a midfielder. He used those words, and Murtaugh, there was an article on December 24th. It was late December, it was last week of December, and he said that I'm looking forward to working with Rangnick. And in this January transfer window, nothing. They got nothing. They pocketed over 20 million because they sold Andres Pereira. Somehow they got 12 million euros or 14. Wild. I was shocked they got that much for him. But so they pocketed with the loan fees and wages saved with Martial and Van der Beek. They saved about 20 million. Yeah. And they gave him nothing. And they could have had Zakaria for 7 million.
Yep. And I'm glad you guys didn't take him.
Yeah, absolutely. No, good on you. Your midfield looks
you guys can still get him in the summer. But hopefully, because he's a free agent in the summer.
You just signed for. How does that work? No, you guys bought him. There's no way you just signed him to the end of the year.
Or maybe that's why we got him so cheap. But
that's why you got him so cheap. That's why you got him so cheap. There's no way you just signed him for 6 months and paid 7 million. No fucking way. Sorry, Dry. Well, I'll go get it.
But going back to are we going back to the game?
Yes, but quickly, I just want to recap. I would say if I'm it's a hefty hand. If I am Rangnick, I would give it beginning of August. You put that in for me?
Yeah.
That's okay. Generous, 35 cents. I would give it till middle of July, see how things are going. See what kind of movements being made. And
nothing's happening, just leave.
Yeah, absolutely. I said when we got him, I could see him. It was in November. I said, I could see him leaving this time next year. It just wouldn't make sense for him to leave in November, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say this summer. I'd bounce, man. Fuck it.
Fire sale.
Yeah. Anyway, terrible goal.
It was terrible half. Second half. The first half, you guys were amazing. Could have. I think that third, or I guess the second disallowed goal, it was just a bit odd that it was the linesman who called the foul. The ref didn't call the foul live, and the linesman raised his flag afterwards, thinking like, no way that was offside. It was a cross from one side to the other, but it was for the foul, and it was just weird that the ref didn't call it, but the linesman did. It's one of those rare instances, especially when it's in the box, and I guess the linesman had a good view of it. That's why he called it, but it was still a foul.
I'm not complaining.
But
and they were flat in the second half.
Yeah, it was carbon copy of Middlesbrough.
Goal shouldn't have happened, but
it was early too.
It was like 3 minutes, and then nothing. It was like 3 minutes in, and then absolutely nothing. Weghorst had the best chance after that. Great shot, excellent save from De Gea. And then they really offered nothing. You know, you can't not start Ronaldo anymore.
you gotta rest him sometimes. I would have rested him for the FA Cup and then started him from this game because the league, I guess, the FA Cup was realistically the only trophy you had a chance of getting. So I guess that's why they started Ronaldo. Mm-hmm. But I would have started him for the league game. I think top four means more if you're a club. It was the day before his birthday, the Middlesbrough game too. It's just let him rest and enjoy his birthday. Bring him back fresh.
Probably want to score. Probably want to enjoy some goals. When's the last time he scored? When is the last time he scored, man?
Was it Norwich?
It's been a while.
Was it Norwich
since he scored
that penalty?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking it's Norwich.
I think you're right, man. I do.
But
I'm going to triple captain this week. He's got a double gamer. I think he's pissed. He is pissed. I know he's pissed, but I think he'll actually score.
They've had a lot of shot attempts in the last 3 games, which is,
it's encouraging.
Yes,
the finishing has been poor, and that's why I'm taking encouragement from Rangnick. So I have no problem with him. I just also don't want. I want him to come in and see out the season because there's talks of him taking over as full-time manager, and I don't necessarily think he would mind that. But I want him to come in and do what he's supposed to do and actually get upstairs and be a vocal voice that is listened to and him be the leading voice, not Fletcher, Murtaugh, any of these fools, all right, that have been there for years.
And haven't really changed anything.
No, except get brand deals. So, yeah.
Well, they still got a bunch of time to pull around the season. Tottenham lost, which is good for them. An Arsenal tie today would have been great.
Well, this is going to age badly because I wrote the preview, like the description on this. I wrote it last night, and I was talking about United, I was talking about Spurs, and the title episode is "Who Wants Top 4?" Like PL Top 4, come and get it, or whatever. And I said the one writing this is calling a Wolves Arsenal draw. Didn't age well. I didn't really get to watch today. I was a little
I was
tied up at work.
More on the Liverpool Leicester game.
That's the one I did have on anyway. I'd switched to Arsenal when Liverpool made it 2-0.
2-0. Did they hold out? How they held? Was Wolves like?
No, I didn't see much from them.
From Wolves. That Tottenham game, crazy.
It was a wild Wednesday in the PL.
A lot of goals. But it was a 3-minute VAR, which Tottenham for their second goal, it should have counted. Emerson Royal jumped over the back of
Broya.
And headed the ball, which created the counter that was finished by Son. They VAR'd
elbowed him too. Elbowed him in the head as well. Kind of
forearm. It was an elbow. It was more like jumping over, and his arm just hit the back of his head. But they reviewed it for like 4 minutes, and then the call stood.
Well, Brady was down for a while too, so I think they even had added time with that.
It was like 8 minutes of added time because of that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I think with the VAR review as well, I think they just kind of deliberated it a little more.
And waited till he got attention first. And
but I mean, they didn't. Well, there was that, and also, I think they even kind of maybe took a little more time with it, but
they should have. I thought for sure that it was going to be overturned, and
Conte was juiced.
Yeah, and whatchamacallit, Hasselhoff.
Hasenhüttl, yeah.
Hasselhoff.
Ralph Hasselhoff works just fine.
He was irate, but it seemed to spark his team, and they got a carbon copy. Two replays. Goals. It was the exact same goal.
Same goal. Emerson Royale. Shocking.
Yeah, he's not good defensively.
All 3 goals.
Oh yeah, he was the first one with
all 3.
Yeah. It was.
But like honestly, yeah, the last 2, Mike, you're right. Like just.
It's like, okay, the first one, it happens, but you can't let the exact same goal happen 2 minutes later.
Horrible marking.
Just 2 minutes later.
Just abysmal. And yeah, I mean, if you're Hasenhüttl, like you could see, you obviously saw it if you watched it, but he was understandably really happy about that. And just giving it right back to Conte. Like he doesn't have to go in his face. Just like, you celebrate like Conte did.
Yeah.
Conte was like had his crotch in his coach's face. Yeah. Which he'll do, and I respect the enthusiasm, but Hasselhoff will take him right back.
Yeah, and it's squandered opportunity for Tottenham to make up ground and try and distance themselves because they do have games in hand. Do they have the same amount of games as Arsenal? Or I think
they have one more.
Yeah, one more, but they lost it now because Arsenal won, right? And they lost.
They did. Yeah, Spurs have 2 on United and 1 on Arsenal. West Ham sitting pretty in 4th place, although they have played 1 more than even United.
Yeah, they'll keep in the hunt, but I think they'll fall down.
Yeah.
If they can finish ahead of one of these 3 teams, I think it's a success.
I think it's even though they've been lingering there for the last 2 years.
Yeah,
I still don't consider them a threat for top 4. I don't.
They're floating around.
They're there. I mean, it's a pretty sound team. It was a good result. Who they won 1-0.
1-0.
Watford. Yeah. Kurt Zuma, quickly. West Ham just don't care about cats. And so that's it. I mean,
if you need to win, you need to win, right? And I don't think it was. I know it's.
I actually haven't seen the video.
It is bad. It is bad, but it's not the worst.
You like cats?
Yeah, I do love cats, right? He dropped it.
No cat bias?
I love cats. He shouldn't have done it. I'm not defending the actions he's done, but there has been worse. And
for sure. I'm not surprised they didn't drop him, especially because he's integral to that team.
Yeah, but there was calls for him being like let go of the team. I'm like, okay, guys, that's like you can discipline him. I'm surprised he wasn't sat for this game as a discipline.
But actually, that never crossed my mind. I just didn't think that they would even consider that. Actually, I'm not. No
outrageous. This is unacceptable.
Of course, people are going to call for that. I haven't seen the footage. Like, how bad was it?
The cat is clearly scared, but yeah, it's bad, but it's not as bad as you think.
You say he drop kicked it?
No, well, he picked it up, put it in the other room, like dropped it, and while it was falling, like a goal kick, like a goalie clear, like he kicked it along the ground.
How hard?
It was more like I would say like a 50% swing.
Okay, this is going to sound really bad. This is going to sound really bad. I guess I need to watch this. Yeah. But from what you're telling me, I feel like people just, people get pissed off at pets. And it doesn't make it right. I'm not saying that I would. But no. I guess since I'm like semi-defending, also maybe even more so understanding why West Ham didn't do it. Didn't drop him for the match. It's just really. I can't actually come out and say, like it's a total dick move. They should have, but like it. I don't know. Like what's the way you're moving your leg? The way you're moving your leg is like really like.
I'll show you.
It seems a little half-hearted. It seems like you're almost kind of disciplining it, right?
Yeah, no, but it wasn't discipline.
It was hard.
It was definitely annoyed with the cat.
It was hard.
Definitely.
It doesn't sound like you should have like obviously done it at all. Just based on from what you're telling me and from what I've read online, like the outrage online. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm taking this one for the first time. It's pretty hard, man. That's pretty hard.
It slid across.
It did. I mean, like it couldn't.
That's the worst part.
What was that?
He threw a slipper trying to get it.
Why is he? Well, he's really berating this cat.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is here is that they're filming him do it.
I don't know why they're filming
because this kind of seems like he seems very comfortable with really going after this cat. This is a little much.
Yeah,
it's a little much. And you know what? I feel like everyone's like laughing. Everyone's around him is like laughing. I think it's hilarious. Yeah. So like this is probably something that just goes on.
Made it worse, but it was a kick. It wasn't like a boom, but
the floor makes it skid like a lot more. If it was carpet, like it wouldn't look nearly as bad. But this seems like it's like a recurring thing.
Yes.
And like whoever's around him like thinks it's like just it's funny, and it's just so common in I guess that household that they're comfortable posting it, and like they've gone to the point where they're filming it. He's like, oh, here goes Kurt again beating his cat. So yeah, a little bit. I would say definitely should have been dropped because this just kind of seemed like it's happening all the time.
Yeah, other players like, okay, well, he's just an undroppable player. I know we're struggling with defense and injuries, but like you still got to discipline him.
He doesn't have a good cut for that.
No.
He doesn't have a good cut. And you know what? Hopefully the backlash here, that cat's okay from here on out.
Well, I'm sure the cat's taken away from him.
That's actually that is the thing. That is the thing.
That's probably the first thing.
That is the thing. Yeah. Okay. Well.
On to today's game, I guess. Arsenal.
Yeah, you got to kind of lead the way here because I did not get to see.
It was
too much of it.
I wouldn't say it was pretty dominant performance from Liverpool at least. Leicester set up very defensively. Making sure they're compact and making it difficult for Liverpool to break them down because Liverpool's a team that doesn't really break down. They usually just run and go. Counterattack, quick pass, try and skip a line, but they try to make them break it down. And they were doing well, and it's just poor covering off a corner. Leicester, I think it was the 10th corner goal they gave up this year, most in the EPL.
Maybe United can score one out.
But after that, you can see it was kind of like dejected. If they could get to 0-0 at half, I think, some subs in 60th, 70th minute might have changed the complexion of the game, but they seemed like they were always behind. And even at the beginning of the second half, the first 3 minutes, Liverpool had I would say 20 passes between Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Thiago coming in, down low, Fabinho. And Leicester were just content with staying at half and not at least pressing up.
This is the start of the second half?
Yeah, the start. And they're down 1-0. And it was just okay.
But you know what? I mean,
they're just keeping it close till the 80th and going from there.
Yeah, another smash and grab tactic, yeah.
But pretty dominant performance from Liverpool, which is good for the league at least. They gotta win these games in hand to keep pressure on City.
It's the one game in hand and the match against City to knock it down to 3 points. Now, Mike, so you were watching that match. Now, Brendan Rodgers, Leicester got destroyed by Nottingham in the FA Cup, and Rodgers has some seriously choice words. Calling it an embarrassment. I think the worst performance he's had since he's joined the club. And really questioned the mentality of a lot of the players, whether they're good enough or, if they really want it. Obviously, the likes of Yuri Tielemans would be one highly touted. Now got off to a good start, but he's kind of faded away in the last few months, and he got dropped for this match. So he'd be one for sure. He went so far as to drop Ndidi back into the center back role when you had like the Soyuncu still available. Now, can you tell me how Dewsbury Hall and Samari performed? Because I saw glimpses and Samari looked okay.
They did their job to the best that they could. Obviously, I don't think both of them in the ideal Leicester team, maybe Samari would be starters, but they did play well. It was just unfortunate that the corner, right? It was a good save. It was header from Van Dijk right to Schmeichel, but shot to right place, right time. And going for, I think they were put in the team today for defensive efforts, not for offensive. Daka and Madison were pretty left out to dry. Albrighton was more concerned, covering for.
Every time I kind of looked up in the first half, it seemed like Albrighton was getting skinned or he was making some questionable tackles. Did I take that right? I was just moving around. I was moving around the bar a lot, and
him and Robertson were getting into it. But I think that was his goal to get Robertson off his game, not make sure he goes forward and creates that second avenue of for attack. So I think he did a good enough job, but I don't know. Leicester, I think they've just hit a wall. I think the last 2 seasons have, getting so close 2 years in a row. I think they started off the year bad. I think they're like, okay, I think we missed our chance, right? I think we're a middle of the table team, like, again, and it is tough, like, being in that situation, coming close to 2 years in a row. And I think mentally they're like, maybe we're just not good enough. I think that's the slump they're in right now. I don't know if they need a manager change or.
I think it's a little harsh. I think it's a little harsh.
Oh, I don't think the manager change right now?
Yeah.
No, but I think they need some sort of spark. And I think Rodgers is trying to by changing the team. Yeah. But when you change the team a lot as well, it's hard to find consistencies and players that, have confidence, like, okay, I had a bad game, but overall my month of play has been good. I should be selected again. I think now they're just like, if I don't play well, I might get picked. So, when you start a game with that mindset, it's hard to, actually be yourself and be comfortable in the game when you're always worried about, if there's a mistake, he's going to pull me off.
Yeah. You can't be doing that. But I think, I don't really necessarily know if he's done that. I think Tielemans was the big message here, because Tielemans was a go-to, has been since he's been there. So I don't necessarily think he's just, bouncing back and forth, choppy and changing constantly. I think maybe
recently.
I think Harvey Barnes is definitely someone who's all season not really been getting the playing time that I would have expected.
He should have never changed to 7. It was the pressure of the 7.
Yeah.
He should have stayed 15.
15, yeah.
Should have stayed 15.
Fair play. Okay. You want to do Arsenal Wolves quick?
I didn't watch the game.
Okay.
It's a big game, big win for Arsenal.
It is, yeah.
It's been a tough start to 2022 for them. I saw the stat today that they have more red cards than goals in 2022, which is kind of funny. I think.
No, it is. I mean, the amount of red cards that they've received,
it's 4 in 2022.
It's wild. Since Arteta's been there, it's really odd. Because Arteta, it's not his style. It's just, and I don't think that it's weird. I don't really think Arteta lacks that strong hand.
Well, he definitely showed it with
as a manager.
Some players,
yeah, for sure. It's just
I don't got to get the screws on right. This was the first double yellow I've seen in the Premier League ever. I think even in soccer that he got 2 yellows in 10 seconds, 2 separate fouls. I can see that the ref pretty much did have to. He did put the ref in a situation where he had to give him 2 yellows. There was no excuse. He was shocked. But, once you try and stop a throw-in with, like, the guy's throwing it in, and if you shove him, obviously that's a yellow. And then, the throw-in still went in because the ref gave the advantage because they had a break. And then you go and tackle him from behind, and it's a scoring opportunity. It's the second yellow.
Arsenal guys in the LFC group saying they don't necessarily disagree with it, but they were saying they're equally soft.
But both yellows?
Yes.
No, the first one's for sure yellow. You can't do that.
Okay.
And the second one, he got him from behind. It was late, and it was in the final third. It has to be yellow. I was thinking that he got a yellow and then mouthed off to the ref when I saw the box score.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought. That's what I thought until I saw them talking about it in the group. Yeah, I honestly just not get a chance to check anything out today, unfortunately. But also, I was about to pick them up after they had those 2 matches. Like, they have this weekend off, and they have another match off after. They have 2 on, like one off, 2 on, 1 off.
They're facing Chelsea, right? Yeah.
Chelsea right now, but then they have 2 matches on, and they have another one off. But anyway, also I was going to do this. Like and subscribe, tell your friends, all that stuff, and at Only Football Pod if you just want to message us and talk some football. I can also give you Mike's phone number if you want. It's no problem. I'll dox him for you. Okay, preview. Let's get back to Leicester.
Yeah.
Now, from what you saw today, yes, they lost 2-0. But is this the team that you're picking if you're Leicester, if you're Rodgers?
No.
Against West Ham?
Against West Ham? No. Yeah. Definitely got to start Tielemans. Definitely got to start a center back.
So you send the message to Tielemans, and then it's like you get back in there.
Well, yeah, you send a message, but you bring him back in and think this is a game we need you for, right? And you send that message to hopefully get him fired up for a big game like this, right? You don't want him fired up for a game against Norwich, right? You do it for the big games.
Sure.
West Ham's pretty much the team that's taking you. Like you're trying to take your spot over the last few years, knocking on the door of the big four. They're doing it now. Obviously, not as well as, I guess technically, if they don't make the top four, it's the same as Leicester. But
I take your point. Yeah,
they're pretty much been there the whole season.
They haven't blown it as bad as Leicester has.
Yes, no, but
they're still there.
They're still there. And
if West Ham don't make it, it's not like, oh man, West Ham really choked. It's like, no, West Ham did pretty well. Like again.
Yeah, but I would assume that he's starting.
Ndidi and Tielemans,
and then probably put in Soyuncu in the back, or Vestergaard, but an established center back and not a midfielder playing in the midfield.
Because Vestergaard's really not panned out for them.
No,
and I don't. Do you really want Vestergaard to be the one to deal with the pace that they have up front? I would use Soyuncu as well. Soyuncu's been terrible as well.
Maybe hopefully this is a wake up call for him. Like
when is Fofana back?
I still don't think Leicester are going to win this game. I think they're I think they have 12 points in the last 12 games. They haven't really shown it.
No. And
West Ham, with the Zuma controversy, hopefully in the past, and
it's pretty much buried by now, right? Yeah. They started him for this match. And I'm sure they got some backlash for doing so, but now it's done.
Yeah,
right. It's like now you know he's starting, right? So,
but it's a game they know they have to win these types of games to stay up there, right? Is obviously the team probably believes that they have a chance at top four, and why wouldn't they believe that? But to be up there, you got to win these games, and knowing that the actual three bigger teams below you have games in hand, you at least want them to make those games in hand feared, right? It's like, oh, West Ham slipped up. You know what? Like, we don't have to worry about them. You want to at least keep the pressure up. Will they get a win? It's going to be a tough game. Yeah. But I think West Ham can still pull it out.
Leicester at home?
Yeah. Leicester it would be a great game for them to bounce back to and hopefully turn their season around. But I think this is a year where they might just come like 10th, 11th. And then put it all in for next year, hopefully, and see. Maybe it was just a bad year.
Reorganize.
Back,
but if they don't sell and they bring in a couple decent players, they scout well. That team scouts incredibly well. So I don't think they necessarily have to let their heads drop. It's like what you're saying. It's like these players just can't look at it. Like we had an off season. We're not a mid-table club. We're like. Yeah, you're in that Europa League range, and hopefully pushing for a champion. Like that's like your title essentially. The midfield battle is going to be really, I think, very interesting. It's a quality midfield battle. If it is indeed Ndidi and Tielemans versus Rice and Souček, a lot going on there. And then the attacking talent on both sides. I know Vardy's out, but. If he wants to line up, if Rodgers wants, what Moyes is going to do.
Yeah.
But he's got a lot of. He has so many options. You have Bowen, Fornals, Benrahma, Lanzini's there. Like Lanzini's there. Vlasic, I don't mind either.
Yeah, Antonio's been in a stump lately, so I would, he hasn't been dropped, right? And I think
Antonio's in a slump. He has a stump.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? That was good. I'll give you that. Yes. But I think he should be dropped. I don't know.
I don't mind it.
What, Antonio being dropped?
No,
because it's just like he hasn't been playing well, but he's still being rewarded.
Yep.
Right. I know he's your out and out like striker or number 9, but sometimes you just need to do. You just gotta drop them, right? Get them angry and get them fired up and say, okay, you think you can drop me?
His legs off the bench would be really key as well.
Yeah,
and you see what
I was surprised he started last game because I thought he was marked as fatigued, and I was just like, oh, okay, maybe this is the game he'll actually sit. But I guess he's undroppable.
I disagree with that, and you know what? And Mikel Antonio is, if Ronaldo can get dropped, Mikel Antonio can absolutely
Anyone
get dropped. All right. And Mikel Antonio has always been someone who's been kind of up and down. Playing in spurts. He's been a lot more consistent and a lot more exciting in the last couple seasons. But he does go through slumps. Even though West Ham still get results, like the goals are still coming off from Jared Bowen. The guy's been on fire. But yeah, I like it. I would not mind at all to see.
You can still come off the bench. Right?
Absolutely, and someone with his physicality and pace
coming off the
not
bench.
A bad thing at all. Especially against a Marty and Soyuncu, possibly.
Yeah, but you might start him because Soyuncu might just have a horrible tackle. He had a stinker against West Ham last time. Had a horrible month. A horrible 2 months. I don't know. He was giving away goals left, right, and center and penalties.
Yep. For Turkey as well. Rom.
No, but I had West Ham winning. Probably 2-1.
I think it's gonna be a banger. I think this game's good. I'm
3-3.
Yep.
Oh
God, I'm going 3-all. Yeah, I do. If anything, I think West Ham will pull it just because I have a little more faith in the defense. But West Ham love to leak goals as well, despite Zuma. You have Agbana out. Dawson.
He's not. Dawson
can get exposed on any day. Dawson can do a job against the likes of a Watford, right? But when it comes to Daka, Lookman was still again, didn't see much, but what I was seeing today, whenever I was looking, I was like, oh, okay, Lookman looks a little he's up for it.
He has been. A lot of them. I'm just saying they didn't really look good going forward, but I get that. But that's against Liverpool, right? It is.
I saw some I saw some intricate play when I caught Leicester enough. I was like, okay, there's something there. But again, I didn't see much. I just think, what, in this match, you raised a good point with Albrighton, just kind of being in there to shake up Robertson a little bit. I think you just swap out Albrighton for Barnes and try to get Barnes going again.
Yeah.
You could do Perez. I don't know, both those teams are very interesting in terms of their depth.
Do you play Iheanacho and Daka together?
What are you going to do, 4-3-1-2?
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't hate that because and Rodgers does like to mix up his formations quite a bit. And
you win the midfield battle against Declan Rice.
I don't mind that at all. And you have good wing backs as well. Castaneda's still up, but Luke Thomas gets in the foray. You have James Justin back.
Yep. Southgate was at the game.
I like it. I do. 4-3. And then what you got? Ndidi, Tielemans, and who else can he stick in there?
Probably Soumare.
And Soumare.
Probably Soumare.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. I like it a lot. And things haven't been going their way, and Iheanacho has kind of been phased out of that team a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring him back in. This time last year is when Iheanacho
started heat
went on fire. Yeah. Okay, last PL match, and then we're moving on to Serie A to close out. We switched it up today because there's some big Serie A matches. It's like Robert F. Kennedy. Why is Robert F. Kennedy? Man, the guy sounds like he's on death's door. People must be aware of what's going on. Anyway, Newcastle hosting Villa. Did it again. Really got to clear my throat. Just lots of signings from these two teams. Villa have been doing it for a good 2-3 years now.
2 years now, yeah.
Savvy signings. I love
they stayed up.
Since they came in, they spent 100. I think they spent close to 100 million that year they came up. If I'm not mistaken, spent a lot of money, man.
Watkins.
Yeah. Watkins was like 30 million, was he not?
Yeah. Well, they had Barkley.
Traore. They brought Traore.
Yeah, but he's gone. Is he still there?
I believe so. I think he's just been injured. I think he was injured and then he went to AFCON.
But yeah, the good signings or good window.
El Ghazi,
yeah.
They spent a lot. So I think it's been close to 100 million. And honestly, if they keep this up, man, 2-3 years from now, 2-3 years from now, and United trajectories crossing.
They'll always be a Europa League. They'll never be top 4.
Why, man? Why? Leicester. Look, these are owners who care and have a good. They're not just kind of splurging money. Obviously sometimes signs are going to go wrong. Like Danny Ings, you can say he hasn't necessarily panned out, But it was a good pickup for Villa at the time, and he's going to come in with some key moments down the stretch. I have no doubt. But they have like a good foundation, and it's not just blockbuster signings. Not that Villa can necessarily be capable of that, but look, they're already
Coutinho.
They pick up Coutinho. The guy's been on fire.
A goal and 2 assists, and
that was last match.
Yeah, and then a goal and assist
in 10 minutes.
He's looking.
I forget what team that was against.
Good one. You're funny.
Thanks.
You know exactly what team it was against.
Thanks, Mike. He actually wasn't playing that match.
Oh, true. That is.
No, it was Lindelof. It was Lindelof and Varane.
Good that Newcastle's on a roll, 2 wins in a row.
They're very disappointing.
They played well. They did. I don't see them winning this game. I have this game actually either. I could be a tie. I think Villa has been scoring the goals, but I think this is going to be like a grinded out. It's going to be, I don't know, 2 teams going in positive directions. You would say,
yeah.
It's going to suck that one team might have to lose. It's a tough game to call, but I don't think Newcastle
take that back.
Newcastle's there yet.
I don't think so either.
But I have a feeling it's going to end in a tie, though.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm going 1-1 tie.
You're going 1-1?
But if I were to pick a winner, it'd be Villa. But I think I have a funny feeling that Newcastle keeps this point streak going. St. Maximin was amazing against Everton. It was a nice free kick from Trippier too.
Can Mings, if you get the ball into St. Maximin, he could just embarrass Mings. Absolutely embarrass Mings.
He could. You can embarrass anyone.
He can, but we're talking about Tyrone Mings, okay?
He was at fault for all 3 goals.
He's at fault for a lot of stuff. The guy's a bum. He's just.
But I think
he's the rich man's Harry Maguire.
I think they could squeak out a tie. So I'm going for it.
You going 1-1?
Yeah, Newcastle. They have Juve colors. I gotta support them.
Now, Konza picked up a double yellow. He's out.
Yeah,
he's out for this match.
Only for one.
Terrible decision. I don't know what he was doing there on a yellow, trying to impede melee like that. With a not a super hard one, but nonetheless an elbow to the head.
Yeah. He's lucky.
Villa and Gerrard, I just don't think they can really get hung up on that that blown lead against Leeds. 2-goal lead against Leeds. To me, it's that was like a vintage Leeds performance that we've kind of missed a bit this year. To be fair, but we got plenty of last season, and it was just a bit of a vintage Leeds match. Just kind of happened. I just don't think they need to get hung up on that. And it's okay, you kind of shake that off, and they've been going the right direction ever since Gerrard got in there. I think they were very unfortunate with some results. They had a tough run of fixtures at one point, and they were still putting in some good performances.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been getting it done, since they more or less right before United. A big thing for me with Newcastle is that was Gamera's on the bench for that match?
Yeah, he came on the 90th.
I think they kind of did a bit of a disservice of at least not getting him half an hour in that match. I even might have just thrown him in there to start for 60, but at least getting him half an hour.
Why?
Just for this match, for this Villa match upcoming, I think him not getting his feet wet, he's not going to be ready for this
training.
one.
There's still training.
You're right.
He's playing at Lyon. It's not like he hasn't been playing.
That's fair. That's fair. I understand why he didn't get in there. I just would have given him a little more time. But I just think that, he won't be ready for this match. And I think that Villa midfield is just too much. If Gamera's kind of got that time in, and maybe he could have, been a starter for this one, he might have been able to tilt it a little bit. I just really Ramsey's right there. He hasn't even been dropped with Coutinho in the team.
Mm-hmm.
That team, it looks really nice. And you have McGinn and Luis beside each other, who are both dynamic midfielders who are good on the tackle and can take that pressure off of Ramsey and just adds even more to their attack. It's like they're almost in like a I do want to watch Rams a little bit closer in terms of like to see what his defensive work is like. But since he's playing in the mid, I'm gonna say that it's halfway decent. But it's almost like they can just kind of swap into like a 4-2-4 at times.
Yeah, but he does cover for what's his name, Ding, the left back who used to be Target. But when the left back does go up, he is the one who usually.
Well, Target can't play this week either.
Oh, true. He's on Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on loan, so he's not playing. So another one. I'm gonna go 3-0 Villa.
3-0.
Fuck Newcastle. There's $2.
No, I think they did. All they need is momentum. They're gonna stay up. They're gonna stay up.
I know.
Stay up.
Hurts me. I'm sure it hurts a lot of people.
Who they sign next year. That'll be fun.
We'll definitely be doing. That'll be like a full episode dedicated.
Just them. Yeah.
Good. Just 25-minute special again. And I think I might have mentioned this. The rebuild for United it's coming, and there will be more in the future. And then when we get into the summer,
it just needs a long time because it's United.
Well, this thing, I do know them quite well, and I do have ideas for them as well. And yeah, anyway, that is. I think. Are we doing an episode this Tuesday?
This Tuesday I can do.
This Tuesday, okay. So we're going to be staggering maybe Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Thursday. Just with the Super Bowl. Also, good luck for the Rams. Okay, other football.
Good luck for you too.
Gunslinger. If you don't know, well, you'll learn. It's a good kid. Was it 32? No, he's not that old. Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Matt Stafford. Anyway, NFL, wrong sport. But yeah, with that quickly, I am going to try and have that maybe done by Monday. But with the Super Bowl, might actually be pushed back to after episode. Okay. Now let's fuck off out of England and head to Italy for a little boopy bada boopy. Napoli Inter. Oh no.
Which one do you want to start with?
No, I think we should definitely start with. Well, it's up to you because you know what.
Oh, we'll start with you, then.
We'll start.
Napoli Inter is more the title.
It's the title. It's the title. Okay, so let's do Atalanta hosting Juventus. Mike, please. You guys are looking good right now. Looking real sound.
We are. We'll see how it goes, though. 2 games, 2 wins, new signings, more flexibility, more confidence with Allegri to, play more of the style he wants, having players he trusts. Maybe with Danilo coming back, having Quadro play up top as a winger. That's what it was today. It was Vlahovic, Dybala behind him, and then McKennie and Cuadrado on the right and left.
How's McKennie functioning?
He's untouchable now. So just finding 3 months ago, Allegri was seeing what he can get to sell him, and now he's untouchable. And thank God. Sad to see Kulusevski go, but I hope he does well on Tottenham. But
he was on for both those Spurs goals or Southampton.
He got subbed in, and then the goals
they scored. It's never a good look.
He got subbed in 76, and the goals happened in 77 and 79.
Yeah,
never good. But he did have a good 10, 12 minutes against who did Tottenham face in the FL Cup? Regardless,
Brighton.
Regardless,
it's the FA Cup. Don't disrespect the FA Cup like that.
Oh, sorry, yeah, EFL. But having Zakaria, Artur fully fit again, and Locatelli, he has 3 sound midfielders he can rely on. And
sorry, quickly today against the Swallow in the Copa, it was Artur Rabiot and
yes.
But are you thinking the 3 is Zakaria?
No, it was
Locatelli. No, like when you're
it was Artur, Zakaria today,
and Rabiot.
No, Rabiot came on. He didn't start. I don't think he started.
Why don't I believe you?
We played a 4-2-3-1 today against
yes.
In the league the first win were against who do we play? Verona, right?
Yep.
We played.
Then it was Rabiot for that.
We had the Dybala, Morata, and Vlahovic up top, and then it was the Zakaria, Artur, and Rabiot.
So going forward, are you doing 4-3-1-2? Do you think, or
we have the flexibility now?
You do?
I think for this game we're going to do a 4-3-1-2.
Yeah.
Will it? If we do that, it has to be Morata, I guess, right? Coming in, and then they would have Zakaria, Artur, and Locatelli. I would scrap out Rabiot.
Yep, agreed. Agreed.
But
now, are you now? Out of in the three, where is Zakaria playing most
right.
centrally? He's playing on the right, and Artur's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Locatelli's on the left.
I like it. It just seems like sound midfield.
Yeah. It does. It means we don't really have any options out wide.
Well, Cuadrado's going to be playing on right back then.
If you're doing that, likely.
You have to.
Actually, Danilo played against Verona, and I prefer Danilo right back. Now that he's hopefully healthy, he missed I think 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I would rather have a traditional right back instead of converted winger right back. Although he's been doing that for years now. Sorry now.
Yeah.
But I prefer having Cuadrado more attacking because we don't have any attackers, especially Kulusevski gone.
Yes.
And Bernardeschi injured.
Yeah.
Kyle Jore is too young. And I think Ake is too young too. We don't really have that. And, Dybala's injury prone. Hopefully he stays healthy. But this is going to be a tight game. It always the most recent games against Atalanta are. If we are going to win, I don't see it being more than 1-0.
Well, yeah,
I don't see it. I think this game ends in a tie.
Yeah, so you're calling a draw? We're calling 1-1?
We're gonna concede early.
We're calling 1-1, eh?
1-1.
Atalanta, I think they're kind of like everyone's kind of sweetheart, especially in the Serie A. Bit of like the hipster squad, but just lately Gasperini just seems to be choppy and changing his defense a lot.
Yeah.
Like his center backs, and I don't like that. And I feel like Demiral should have just been like in there, like consistently. But like I seem to notice like there's at least like 3 or 4 center backs that he's always rotating between, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And Russo's out now. He took a red card. The keeper took a red card against Cagliari as well. So I think that just kind of throws them into further disarray for this match. And I like what Juve just seem a little more structured now and confident.
It's still new though. Right?
It is
still new. Everyone still has to get used to each other. That's what I'm worried about. I know Atalanta haven't been the best as of late. They had a shock loss to
Fiorentina today and Cagliari on the weekend. No, but Fiorentina today they're up a man 2-2, and they ended up conceding like the 93rd.
Yeah,
up a man.
But they're still scoring.
But yes, they are. But as you say, it is new for Juve. So a couple key new players, right? The system is not new.
No, it's Allegri.
It's Allegri, and Allegri loves to play conservative if need be. And I think you just keep your structure and sit tight. I know it's Atalanta, but Zapata's out still.
Thank God.
And
actually he's back, isn't he?
He might just be back.
He's back.
He might. Okay, all right. But I don't know, Mike. I just think that you guys can just.
This is a huge game for us. It's a bigger game for us than it is for them. It's a big game for both teams.
It's big for both games, especially now that Atalanta's out of the Copa.
Yeah, but it's a big game for us because if Atalanta win this game, top 4 seems very unlikely.
Relax.
Why?
Relax.
Why
it's not very unlikely. You are already in 4th.
4 points. You'd be 4 points back.
You're already.
Yeah, but they have a game in hand. We're 2 points up in 4th, right? And they have a game in hand.
Yes.
Right?
So yes, so technically, I see what you're saying, but not very unlikely.
Okay.
Not and just tone it down a little bit, okay?
It would be a 30-40% chance. Is that being realistic?
I think 40. Yeah, I think 40 is fair.
So what is very unlikely is what you're thinking, 15 and below?
20.
Okay.
Even 25.
Okay, so it's unlikely.
Am I nitpicking? I think you're just being extreme in your language. That's all. That's how I see it. But
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I just again, and I think the uncertainty at the back can breed just a little inconsistency in Atalanta's free flowing style of play. I just don't like.
Last time they sat back and waited for us to break them, and we couldn't. Yeah,
you were at home though. You're at home, and you know what? You can take a draw. The onus is still slightly more on them. You can take that draw, and I think if you're Juve, you can take that draw and look at the rest of the season, and just based on experience, be like, you know what, we can back ourselves to get the wins where we should get the wins. Unlike, I like Atalanta. They can beat anyone on their own day. But look what happened last week against Cagliari. I know we've seen.
They got that crappy loss out of the way.
Maybe, and I know we've seen Juve struggle in the last couple of years. But is it starting to come together? I think they should have that mentality. I'm going to go 2-0 Juve.
I would love that.
Okay, Napoli Inter. Let's wrap it up. In recent history, like Napoli's actually been okay against Inter at home. That is, but they just seem a little threadbare right now.
Napoli,
yeah, just a little bit. I imagine Koulibaly and Anguissa should be back for this match.
Yeah.
They should be. They could be tired though. That's the thing. They both.
Koulibaly might not start.
Exactly. Yes. And I personally don't like what is it, Jesus, and they just here's the Albanian guy. No, the Albanian. No. I forget.
That's a top. You're talking about Elmas, not Elmas.
Defender. No, I'm spacing. No, there's I'm spacing. Anyway, and then Lozano's out and Zielinski's out as well.
Yes, but they do have.
Osimhen is back.
Osimhen.
Yes,
and he's a handful. And with the mask,
Insigne, Osimhen, Mertens, and Elmas, Pivot, Deme,
yeah.
Anguissa,
probably. I don't know.
I don't know. They just seem a little light to me.
It is light, and I have Inter winning.
So do I. Inter's just rolling right now.
Especially like how they how they lost the Milan game with 2 quick goals in 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. A little pissed off,
and they had chances to make it 2-0, and they didn't put it away. And they rebounded nice against Lazio and the Coppa Italia, and they don't want to make this a title race. It is a title race, but this is a big game. You can't lose to Milan and Napoli back to back.
I love it. I would love it.
And give up the title race. It would be great for Serie A. And obviously, Juve fan don't want to see Inter winning of all teams. Sorry, Dave. But I do see Inter winning this comfortably. I'm saying 2-0. They have so many pieces they can plug in, and they're healthy. I would assume nothing happened from that Martinez-Hernandez incident.
Not that I know of. So if you don't, Martinez is like
Hernandez. The video said
Hernandez was a red card. It wasn't a spit. Okay.
It wasn't a spit, but if you
looked like a spit to me.
If you look at the camera, it looked like he was downwards. Anyways, Hernandez got a smart red, great red.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it, right?
Yeah.
And while he was walking down the tunnel, it started I think, was it Inter coaching staff or some people jawing at him? So he went over and jawed back, and then Martinez came out of nowhere, obviously upset that he was, pretty much handled that whole game, didn't do anything, and went to say some words and had like a spitting action. It did look like a spit, but apparently they had other cameras that we don't have access to, and they confirmed that there was no spitting. If there was, that was probably at least a 3-game suspension, I would say.
How? I think it's fair. But I mean, can you see, Napoli's pivot like being able to handle the midfield 3 of Inter at all?
No, that's why I think it's going to be a comfortable win.
It seems like how can they not get overrun? Yeah, like how can Napoli are going to sit back? Napoli's going to be all out counter.
They need 0-0 at half, or them to be winning at half.
Yeah, snaking, like just kind of snaking.
If Inter scores early, I think the floodgates can go.
Well, that's the thing is like I think Napoli kind of have to approach this match like Leicester did at Anfield. A little bit, even if you are down 1-0, don't let it get away from you.
Not that defensive. I don't think Napoli can go that defensive.
I know you're at home, but like I just don't see how they can really handle it. I just don't, especially if I think Anguissa would make a really big difference. Not a really big difference, but I think he would be the one that I would want to see in that midfield, personally. 1 minute left for the podcast, but I think we're pretty much going to get this done.
Yeah.
Is that like really like the key point for you?
It's just they're just healthy and they're motivated.
Yeah.
And the fact that they just lost to Milan, they can't lose to Napoli too.
Maybe that's in their heads.
They can't lose this game. And I think they'll come out and win.
I'm going 2-0.
Napoli?
No.
Oh, so we have the same score.
2-0 Inter, yeah. And maybe it could be in their heads. You know, that
tie would be great too.
Sure, I know that's dropped
what
enough.
Milan's hoping for, but for the title race, it is a title race. Thank God, it was a great win by Milan, and hopefully we get a title race and the Juve just sneaking in the top 4.
Yeah. All right, podcasters, 10 seconds left, but we're all done. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and like and subscribe. Good night.
Good night, guys. Do son. Do son.
Do.